Hey everyone, welcome to the day 6 of 100 days of AWS. I'm your host Mohit. In today's video, we are going to talk about how you can manage your Lightsail instance and how you can monitor it. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe it so you can be notified of the new videos that I'm uploading in this series of 100 days of AWS. Now in today's video, I will talk about how you can understand more about your Lightsail instance, how you can manage it. We are going to install WordPress on our instance so that you know how you can install an application on your instance. We'll see how to monitor the instance and what are the Burstable instance and how you can use Burstable instance effectively. So first and foremost, we'll go to our Lightsail console and go to our instance, and you can see you have the following options. Now, first of all, if I go here, there is an option to manage, connect, manage, stop and reboot. So if you click on manage, you are going to come to this kind of page where you have connect. You can connect using the web console. If you click here, a web console would be launched in. Now you have some metrics here, which we are going to talk about now later in this video. Then you have snapshots. So snapshots are backups. So you can take a snapshot of your instance and you can restore it if required. And you can also configure automatic snapshot, which we are going to see in upcoming videos, how to take snapshots and how to configure automatic snapshots. Then you have storage. Currently our instance has a 20 GB storage, depending upon what type of instance we selected initially, considering the cost. We can also attach some additional disk, which we are going to see in the upcoming videos. So tomorrow we are going to talk about networking, and we are going to cover all the topics related to this except load balancing and distribution, which we are going to cover in later videos. But this networking tab provides you complete simplified details of how to use network with Lightsail. And then if you want to book a custom domain name, for example xyz.com, you can come here to domains and book it, which we are going to see in later video as well. On top right, you have the static IP, private IP and the public IP, v6, and these are the details, and this is the status. What is the status of your instance? You can stop it or reboot it. Keep in mind, if you reboot, your IP would change unless it is a static IP as mentioned here. So if I copy this IP and log into this page, you will see there is this page being generated, LAMP packaged by Bitnami. So we are going to install WordPress here. So this is the SSH key that I'm using. So I will just use SSH-I Singapore, and the username is Bitnami @ select yes, and I'm logged in. Now if you go to this home directory, you have the following details. You have this htdocs stack, Bitnami application password and Bitnami credentials. Now if you click on this Bitnami credentials and if you open this, you will see there is a password there, which we are going to use as our MySQL password. Before that, let's go to the htdocs folder, and inside this you will see there is a index.html. I can just remove it, or let me just show you. I will just cat it. Let me just use more index.html, and you can see this is the LAMP package by Bitnami file here, which we can see here. This is the file which is stored here in form of index.html. So I'll just remove it and I will create a new file, index.html, and I will just type hello 100 days of AWS. Let's save it. So now if I change it and if I refresh my browser here, I will see this hello 100 days of AWS. So this means whatever data that you write in this file, it would be displayed here as in the website. Now we are going to install WordPress here. I will just remove this one as well. And if you see, I have given the steps how to install WordPress. So just copy this wget command, which is actually downloading the latest .tar.gz file from the wordpress.org website, and we can use it. We can use the tar command to extract this file inside the WordPress directory. Now if I go to my URL, you will see I can access this using /WordPress, but I don't want this WordPress here. So what I will do, inside my directory, I will just go to WordPress and move all the files using star to a previous folder. And if you go here, you can see all the files are now moved to this directory. So I will just remove WordPress here And then what I can do, I can just remove this from here and I would be able to access this page without that /WordPress. Alright, so far so good. We need to install WordPress and we need the database name, username, password and database host. Create a database inside MySQL database that we have. Let's go to one folder ahead, add this Bitnami application password, and we can use mysql-u root -p, and we will use this password. I'll just copy this password and paste it. Okay, we are inside my database. I can show databases, and these are the databases. Now I will create a database WordPress, and that's it. So I will just copy this password and come back here. So the database name is WordPress, username is root, and password is the one that I've just copied from there. You can click on submit and it will give you a file. Now the problem is that this directory is not writable, the htdocs directory. So you have to manually create a file wp-config.php and paste it here. And that's it. Your WordPress would be installed. You can define your site title. I will just type username as admin and I will log in using my admin username here, and that's it. I would be logging inside my WordPress website. So far so good. Let me create a new post. I will just edit it and mention it hello world, and you can preview this in new tab. So this is your website 100 days of AWS, and this is your 100 days of AWS post. Alright, so you are now using your website here on this URL. That's working well. Now let's come to the monitoring part. So we created an application. You can install any application on the website. Now if I go to the home and if I select this one, if I go to my metrics, so you can see there are some graphs here. Let me just zoom it in. So there are some graphs available here, and you see there is a green part here which says burstable, you can say sustainable zone, and this is a burstable zone. Now this sustainable zone and burstable zone is how you use your instance. If you keep your instance utilization inside the sustainable zone, you acquire some CPU credits or burstable credits, so which is shown here, burst capacity. So for example, my instance was running for quite some time, right? I'm given around 50% of burst capacity. This means if my usage goes high than this sustainable zone, that is more than 5%, I will spend some burst capacity. Now just to give an analogy, this is similar to what we have in a hybrid model car. Think of it, for example, you have battery and you have fuel, right? When you are running your car with fuel, your battery gets charged, just like your burst capacity gets acquired. And then once when you are running your car using battery, the battery gets depleted. And similarly, if you are using some of the credits in the burst capacity, your burst capacity would be reduced. So this more than 5% of your CPU utilization would be considered as burstable zone. Now how to test it? Inside our server, we have a utility called AB, which is the Apache benchmarking. We are going to use it. We are going to send around 1000 requests, and we are going to send around 100 requests at the same time. So this is the concurrency level 100, and number of requests is 1000, and we are going to test the local host. So local host means your own server, and index.php, and it will do some benchmarking. And once we do this benchmarking, you would see a spike here for your CPU usage and a dip here for your CPU credits. Okay, so it is done with this request. So 100% is done by 2568. So you can see that this is the longest request, 2568 millisecond, and we should soon see a bit of spike here. It takes some time to display the graph here. So I will just wait. Alright, so as you can see, it took around 6 minutes for it to generate. So your data is generated around 6 to 7 minutes late, and you can see my CPU utilization shot up to around 43%, And there is a high depletion in my CPU credits, which is 51% to 49% almost. And if you click on this, you will see that CPU burst capacity in minutes has reduced from 36 minutes to 35 minutes. So in this way, you can check other metrics as well. For example, this is the incoming network traffic, outgoing network traffic, any status check failures, etc. As well as what you can do, you can create some alarms as well. For example, I can create an alarm for whenever the CPU utilization is more than 80%, is greater than 80% for 2 times in the last 20 minutes, either send me an SMS or send me an email. So you can add your email here. I'm not going to do it in this video, but I'm just telling you that you can add your contact here and it will create an email so that whenever there is an increase in utilization, you would get an email. So in this way, you can use metrics in first of all to understand how your system is behaving, and secondly to create some alarms so that you can get some actionable alerts based on these metrics. So in Lightsail, you have a very few metrics available: CPU overview, CPU utilization, incoming network traffic and outgoing network traffic, and the burst capacity, which I've explained you. What does the burst capacity means? So go ahead and test it out. So in case you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. In case you have any questions or queries, just reach out to me either in the comment box or directly. And I will see you tomorrow with a new video in this series, 100 Days of AWS.